A very good afternoon and thanks for joining us on Sunshine Report. I'm Jane Aina. The Ondo State Acting Governor, Mr. Lucky Ayedatiwa, says the absence of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, who is abroad on medical leave, has not created a crisis in the state and warned falsehood peddlers to desist from circulating unfounded media reports on the governor's health. Mr. Lucky Ayedatiwa, who expressed gratitude to the people of Ondo State for their consistent support for the present administration, advised residents not to allow political jobbers and forces of falsehood to cause disaffection between the leaders and the led in the Sunshine State, saying government's attention has been drawn to some orchestrated falsehood, insinuations and negative write-ups, particularly in the print and social media, with a view to creating chaos. The acting governor, who restated his unalloyed loyalty to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, said the agents of provocation are out to tarnish the reputations of individuals in government circles and to distract the administration from its commitment to develop the land and the people, saying the selfish machinations of certain politicians would not derail the State Executive Council in its quest to continue to turn things around for better, in line with the 8-point redeemed agenda of Governor Akeredolu. Mr. Ayedatiwa assured residents of the state that the governor is recuperating fast and will soon be back in office from his medical leave. Still in Ondo State, tax and financial experts have charged President Bola Tinubu and the newly constituted tax committee to overhaul the tax system in Nigeria to meet current realities. The experts, who identified urgent need to eliminate multiple taxation, want government to bring more individuals and organizations into the nation's tax net to improve revenue generation. Osrc's Zaid Aribisala in this report examines the recent suspension of some taxes by the president and its effect on Nigeria's economy.
With one of the world's largest population and the tag of being the largest economy in Africa, Nigeria still has not so much to show when it comes to the role of taxation in driving the economy. According to reports, Nigeria has one of the lowest tax collection rates in the world at approximately 10.8% of gross domestic product, with only 47% of this year's budget coming from revenues and the rest from borrowing. A tax expert, Idowu Otetubi, believes Nigeria's tax system is faced with multi-layered challenges that needs urgent solving.
The Nigerian tax system, if I move into that straight, is such that we have multiple taxation in this country. At the last count, there are about 57 classes of taxes that is being paid across board in the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Less than 10 contribute to 92% of the tax collection at any particular time in this country. Some of the taxes that are being paid are obsolete or even not in existence, or the variables that are available now are not available. For example, look at the stamp duty tax.
In his early days in office, President Bola Tinubu signed 4 executive orders for tax suspension. The Finance Act 2023 from 28 May 2023 to 1st of September 2023. President Tinubu also signed the Customs Excess Tariff Amendment Order 2023, shifting the commencement date of the tax changes from March 27, 2023 to August 1, 2023, and also in line with the national tax policy.
It is a very good policy in the right direction, considering the fact that the economy is not friendly now. When you see a business, there's what we call entrepreneurial renewal process, ERP. Whatever that will increase the cost of a business, you need time, you need them to plan it so that they will know how it will affect their budget, so that they will know what they are going to do to mitigate the effect. They will know how they are going to change the accounting system. They will even know how to respond to it, how to prepare for it, so that the reporting system too can be enhanced. So if you don't consider all of these implementation process and you just load it on them, there's no way to not affect cost of production and invariably selling price.
A social reformer, Dr. Charles Marindoti, urged Nigerians to support the president in his reforms. The executive order also suspends the newly introduced green tax by way of excess tax on single-use plastics, including plastic containers and bottles, the 5% excess tax on telecommunication services, as well as the excess duties escalation on local manufactured products. Though the right step in the right direction, Mr. Olawale Ijalano, a forensic accountant, hopes the president's good intentions will not be sabotaged.
One may be right to say that he is heading towards the right direction, but my fear has always been in the long run. The problem with Nigeria is not about formulating policies. It's about actually maximizing the benefits derivable from such policies. So I pray the mind of the president is not hijacked by selfish aides who will now misuse the privilege that the president might give to them to abuse whatever the president is trying to do.
For the tax expert, enhancing automation of tax collection process, blocking loopholes, eliminating multiple taxation, curbing tax evasion and avoidance, and building Nigerians' trust in the process are critical to success.
You have so many revenue agencies, revenue collecting agencies. The custom is there, the FRS is there, Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission is there, the NNPC, and many other agencies. In the view of trying to raise their bar, they introduce so many things to just generate revenue for the government. But
the tax practitioners expressed confidence in the ability of Ondo State-born Taiwo Oyedele as the chairman of the newly set-up Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform. The special advisor to the President on Revenue, Zach Adedeji, says the aim of government is to transform the tax system to support sustainable development and achieve a minimum of a 10% tax to GDP ratio within the next 3 years without stifling investment or economic growth. How much of that will be achieved? Time will tell. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
The House of Representatives has asked the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to stop the implementation of its directive that banks should add customers' social media handles as means of identification. The House gave the directive following a motion sponsored by 9 members. The CBN had released its Customer Due Diligence Regulations 2023, noting that the inclusion of social media handles on Know Your Customer would galvanize compliance with anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing provisions. Part of the concerns of the House was the untold hardship the directive would cause millions of Nigerians, especially the illiterate or semi-literate business owners, traders and entrepreneurs living in the village and rural areas who do not have social media handles. Meanwhile, the House said it would investigate the issue of excess charges and illegal deductions by commercial banks in the country. Away from that, emphasis have been placed on the need to bridge gender gap by promoting gender equality in all areas in commemoration of this year's World Population Day. The theme for this year's celebration is Unleashing the Power of Gender Equality, uplifting the voices of women and girls to unlock our world's infinite possibilities. Osrc's Joy Pius now completes the story.
Established by the United Nations in the year 1989, the World Population Day is being celebrated across the globe on July 11 every year. Over the years, World Population Day has played a crucial role in raising awareness about global population issues and their impact on society, advocating for reproductive rights and encouraging policies and programs that support sustainable development and the well-being of all individuals. The focus this year is on gender equality, with the theme Unleashing the Power of Gender Equality, uplifting the voices of women and girls to unlock our world's infinite possibilities. Speaking on the importance of the day, Ondo State Director, National Population Commission, Mr. Oluyemi Falusi, highlighted the crucial role of gender equality in achieving sustainable development.
Every year we take an aspect of the society, and this year we are looking at gender equality and giving voices to the women and girls. Part of what we are looking for that we expect that should be achieved, one, in the area of educating our children, the boys, the girls, they should be given equal opportunity. Let our girls go for good courses, anything that can develop the society, engineering, maths, and a lot of other things. Also, in the area of employment, let's give them equal opportunity.
Other stakeholders advised the female folks to always rise to the challenge of engaging in numerous efforts that promote their welfare.
It has to be sustained, because nowadays the men alone cannot, cater for the house. With the support of a woman, if the man and the woman is not working, they bring in what they earn, to enlarge their family.
I will advise them to put more effort, and they need to promote the integrities of our nation, the integrity of themselves. Women should not be used anyhow.
Women should go out and take their chances, and they should go out and be bold to, do whatever a man can do. So don't stay back and say it's a man's world. Everything should be done by a man. In terms of politics, education, any sector, a man should come out and showcase themselves.
The Special Advisor to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu on Gender, Mrs. Olamide Falana, noted that unlike in the past, where females are not allowed participation in key areas of the society, progress has been recorded. Mrs. Falana, however, stated that there is still more to be done to bridge gender gap in the country.
Although in Ondo State we have done well, we have actually had quite a lot of progress and success. One of such is the fact that the governor of our state, Arakurian Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, has been so determined and so supportive of gender cause. In all ways, he has been determined to ensure that women have a place of pride, which he has demonstrated in political will through the appointments of women in various key positions across the state. He also demonstrated it by ensuring that there is adequate funding for any gender-specific activity that speaks to the development of women and girls in Ondo State. So Ondo State is doing very well, and I dare to say that Ondo is one of the states that is actually pulling up the data of Nigeria when it comes to gender equality and when it comes to bridging the gender equality gap that we may have in the country. However, we still have a lot to do, and we have lots more to conquer.
As the world progresses towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goal 5, gender equality, by 2030, there is hope that the issue of gender inequality would have been reduced considerably. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has ordered an investigation of the prosecution counsel, Ibrahim Mohammed, who filed an 8-count charge against Senator Stella Odoa. The court is inquiring how the charge sheet, which was filed in June by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, is being prosecuted by the police. The controversy began when the matter was called and the counsel, Mohammed, announced his appearance for the Nigeria Police Force. In a brief ruling, Justice Omotosho, who ordered the FCC to investigate the prosecution counsel and revert to the court, also ordered the counsel, Ibrahim Mohammed, to report to the EFCC immediately. Odoa was expected to be arraigned before the court on an 8-count charge bordering on alleged complicity surrounding her National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) certificate and allegedly receiving money fraudulently from the Federal government. The case has been adjourned till July 18 for the EFCC to report to the court on its investigation. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says the federal government will renegotiate the country's production quota in the ongoing OPEC Plus cuts by November. The group chief executive officer, Mele Kyari, said the country was working towards ramping up crude oil production by about 200,000 to 300,000 barrels per day, latest by October, after which it would push for an increased quota at the next OPEC Plus meeting in November. According to Kyari, Nigeria's crude oil production, including condensates, was around 1.3 million barrels per day. In the meantime, wife of the president, Oluremi Tinubu, has described a story doing the rounds on social media that she purportedly locked up the Osrc chapel as a false representation of the true situation. The special advisor on media, Busola Kukoye, in a statement described the story as a fabrication, saying Mrs. Tinubu never at any time gave such directive that the chapel be shut and the keys handed over to her. She said that President Bola Tinubu, whose responsibility is to appoint a chaplain for the chapel, is yet to do so, adding that there are presently weekly fellowships going on at the chapel. MPFL champions Enyimba have been eliminated from the ongoing Niger Super 8 tournament in Lagos after a shock 2-1 defeat to Katsina United, but the jostle for the semi-final tickets in Group A went down the wire after Sporting Lagos also beat Stars 2-1 at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena. After a goalless first half, Katsina United raced to a 2-goal lead inside 2 minutes, with Ibrahim Yahaya scoring first in the 54th minute, while Nazifi Yahaya added the second from the spot in the 56th minute after Somari Alaibo handled the ball in the box. Fatai Abdullahi pulled one back for the People's Elephants at the death. But it was only a consolation as Finidi George's men were eliminated in the group stage following 2 defeats and a draw. In the first game, Chiemeka Nwokeji scored in stoppage time from the rebound of a missed penalty as 10-man Sporting Lagos beat Remo Stars 2-1 to take the Southwest Derby bragging rights. And still on sports, FIFA has sanctioned Cristiano Ronaldo's Saudi Arabian club, Al Nassr, because of an issue involving Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa. The World Football Governing Body has now banned the club from registering any new signing going into the new Saudi Pro League. Al Nassr have failed to pay Leicester City the money they owe them over Musa's transfer. Musa signed for the Saudi Arabian Pro League side in a 16.50 million euros deal in 2018, shortly after impressing at the World Cup in Russia. While the Knights of Naja have paid the transfer fee, they are yet to pay the add-ons despite the Court of Arbitration for Sport CAS ruling. And for to be all on Sunshine Reports, thank you very much for watching. Good afternoon.